welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing something really cool. I know in my last video that I've talked about this car here with the garage setup there video. If you haven't checked that video out, go check it out. It should be in the previous somewhere on the channel there. So today we're actually taking the BQ out and we're swapping it with a 6.2 liter Corvette engine. I don't know too many people that have done this swap, but mostly people with drift cars do this swap, but I'm doing it to make a nice street car. Get 500 horse out of it, it'll be perfect, put a nice lumpy cam in it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the engine that's in it right now. I absolutely love the way that this sounds with the proper exhaust system on it. You can get them to sound really good. But I'm just looking for a change. I never really want to sell the car, so I figured let's just make a cool project out of it. So yeah, this engine will be very healthy. It's got low KM on it, and it'll be healthy for the next owner. I've sold the engine to someone on Marketplace, and I'm going to pull this thing out. I got all the engine cranes and everything over there that I need. I'm going to be pulling the transmission out first. I've ordered everything from Siki Manufacturing. Here's all the boxes here. I got a drive shaft, headers, all the adapter plates, the pickups, the oil pans, the transmission adapter plates. I will be using the stock trans in this. The adapter plate bolts right up to it. The stock trans in these things can hold up no problem with that sort of power and the rear diffs and everything. So some guys go to a T56, but I think I like to keep it OEM with this, and everything works properly, and the whole wiring harness that they give you with that kit will all bolt up and everything will plug in properly. So we're going to film the whole process here. We're going to get started on pulling the center console out so we can get access to the transmission bolts and get access to the shifter, take all that stuff apart and so on, and then we'll get it up in the air and we'll get started with pulling the transmission out. So we basically just took everything from up at the top of the trans mount here. Inside we pulled all the interior stuff apart there just to get access so nothing pulls through, pull the shift knob off, etc. Right now we're pulling all the exhaust off, so we've undone these here, and we're just taking the cats out right now. Pulling the O2 sensors off, getting everything free and away from the transmission, and then we'll get ready to get the bell housing bolts and drop them. Just like that, you got your cats out. Okay, so we basically got all this exhaust taken off here and this cross member here that's over there. We're going to leave the two pipes back here just so we can have less stuff laying around that we don't need to unnecessary stuff to come off. We're going to buzz these bolts off the drive shaft here, drop it in the back, and then we can start with the transmission parts. Better tight than coming loose, I guess, right? That we got a drive shaft. So one of the things I like to do when I'm pulling all this stuff apart here, if it's at all possible, you can match up the bolts and the nuts with the proper piece that we've taken off. Then that way you don't run into the risk of losing bolts or wondering where things go after you put them back. Tech tip that you guys can actually use too as well is I use a piece of cardboard. I laid out the bell housing. You can pop your bolts inside them, then you don't lose track of where stuff is going. Always good to make sure that there's no connectors up the top, because when you drop this transmission and you have a connector up there, it will tear the harness for sure. There's your clutch assembly here. There's your pressure plate. We're going to be buzzing all that off later. We're going to pull this out as an assembly with you. So now that we have the transmission set up over there, we got it up and out of the way. We're going to bring the car down. We got everything unhooked at the back of the engine. We're going to bring it down, drop and drain all the fluids out of it so we don't make a disaster with the truck. Alright, so now that we've gotten all the rad and everything taken out of it, we're draining all the coolant right now, power steering fluids. We're going to start taking off the front bumper. We freed up some areas here. We've taken the fan shroud out, opened this up a little bit more. I'm going to take the engine out with the full wiring harness attached to it, so I'm not taking each connector apart, so I'll trace it back because I won't be using it anyways. So we're going to peel off the front bumper here and take off this front nose clip. And then that way we don't damage the bumper and anything when we're taking stuff out. A few things frustrating with the rad support, so we didn't film too much of it, but this is where we stand at right now. We just peeled off the rad support and everything's nice and open. The engine's all free here, as you can see it's rocking. So then we just got to pull the motor mounts out, one on each side, and then we're just about ready to yank this thing. I took out the two motor mount bolts and nuts underneath, and as you look in here, I took the intake manifold off so I can put two bolts back here and put a chain through the front here just so it'd be easier to lift it out. Alright guys, so it's all out now. This is an empty engine bay. Nothing else was attached really, so we're good. Here's the engine. We're going to start buzzing off these headers. They're a lot easier to do when the car's, when the engine's out obviously. Take this clutch off. We're going to be reusing this clutch as a stage 3 clutch. We'll reuse that clutch with the adapter plate that they have from Siki Manufacturing. So yeah, that's the lowdown of that. The engine's finally out. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. We're gonna keep in touch and make more videos coming up with what we take off the car and cleaning up the engine bay and doing all that stuff and getting ready for the LS.